Hi, I'm Jarrod.
I'm Graeme.
I'm Ali.
I'm Abraham.
I'm Anando.
I'm Shazil.
And we're Group 12, and our application is MacWild, which in brief is an animal spotting application for the McMaster campus.
So the problem we're addressing with this project is in regards to safety on campus with respect to wildlife. There are times where people can be walking around on campus, whether it be day or night, and it can be scary because McMaster does have some trees and forestry nearby and integrated into its campus that can attract animals. So we want to protect both the animals and the people. So we decided to come up with an app that can report animal sightings to others. So our stakeholders would just be anyone using campus, whether it's students, staff, or bus drivers. So again, our application will allow people to report animal sightings to others who are also walking through campus and are interested in seeing if the path they're taking to a certain spot is safe.
Yeah, thanks for that, Ali. I'll be moving on to the methodology aspects of the application. So in terms of gathering the requirements, we primarily went about doing questionnaires interviews. We tried to quantify our questionnaires by giving the users 3 to 4 selectable options rather than using free-form text, as it makes it easier to quantify the results. From this questionnaire, we found that more than half the participants felt unsafe walking on campus, usually during the evenings and late afternoons. And more than half of them also would prefer to have some type of application where you can view and create reports of these animal sightings based on time, location, and the type of animal. In terms of actually conducting interviews, we conducted interviews with second and fourth years just to get a variety of responses. And from this, we were able to get data that backed our questionnaire data in terms of developing an application that has the right features to spot animals. I'll hand it over to Graeme to talk about the design overview.
Perfect. So in regards to the design, we decided to go with a minimal approach to create a linear user flow. We also decided on a dual color scheme to improve button contrast and consistency. We used the Google Map API to provide a familiar map experience to our users. By default, the map is centered around McMaster University, showcasing bright red markers with information on the animal sightings. This encourages the user to click the marker since it's similar to other mapping software. This leads to positive transfer effects as the user is able to bring their knowledge of existing mapping applications to our app. The main screen is simple with a single bright red button below the title. This button is for reporting animals, which is the second major function of the application. After clicking this, the user is brought to a form in which they can fill out the details of the report. This again uses positive transfer effects and helps to align with the user's conceptual model of a basic web form. Calendar and clock icons help direct the user to the date field in addition to the familiar Choose File button for uploading animal photos. Overall, we used a simple layout and a consistent design that allows our users to transfer their past experiences into our application.
And now we're going to jump into a quick demo of the prototype. So as we discussed, the application is really minimal. It's very straightforward. As soon as you open it, the first thing you see is just this little intro, like welcome to MacWild, and then there's a map that has a bunch of markers on it. And each marker represents different animal sightings. So you can click on a particular marker, and what this would do is open up the details of that sighting. So where it happened, the location, the date and time, the type of animal, and any other description or notes that the person decided to include. So it's very intuitive. You can move the map around, you can zoom in and out, and you get a closer look at where it happened, for example. So it's very intuitive. You don't have to sign up or make an account. There's really no way of getting confused by the UI or anything like that. And then reporting the sighting is also very similar. It's very intuitive, and all you have to do is click this button. There's no way you would really miss this button. It's right at the top, and it's really the only button there is other than it's really the only component there other than the map. And then once we click on it, the sort of process to fill out the details for a sighting is very easy. So we have a simple calendar that pretty much anyone can follow, any person, people of any age group, any really computer skill. And then we have a simple time selector. And then in order to select the location, all you have to do is select the map. So we thought this would be better than, let's say, entering exactly where you saw it, because you might not remember. So things like that. And so this would make it really easy to specify where you saw it. And then once you click that, all you have to do is select a place on the map. So we could click, let's say, near the Health Science Center right here. And then it'll update the coordinates to reflect that location. The other thing is we can fill out a bunch of details. So let's say we saw this deer near Health Science Building. And then you might accidentally select the wrong location, or you want to make it more accurate. So you can go back, and then you can keep doing this as many times as you like. And what you'll notice is all the previous details that we entered stay there. So that's just another design principle we kept in mind. So it'd be frustrating for users to keep re-entering this information when all they wanted is to update the location. So now we can go ahead and just submit this. We can select a time, let's say 6:03 p.m. And then once we submit it, we get a little message indicating it was successfully saved with a check mark. So just to give a little visual appeal. And then we can see the location was updated on the map. So there's a new one here. And yeah, it's pretty intuitive to use.
All right, so for the future, we could improve the application by adding additional features such as safest route finding. This would guide the user to their target destination while avoiding areas with high animal activity, thus further improving their safety. Another way to improve is to allow flexibility to search for specific animals rather than have all the pinpoints displayed at once. This would make the map less clustered and easier to navigate if there are several pinpoint/markers at once. We also want to advertise our application on social media that pertains to McMaster students. We also want to try and get more feedback from our users so that we can make improvements. In addition, we can also make improvements to our UI to create a more user-friendly and visually pleasing interface. And then finally, we can also strive to make our data storage more professional by setting up a real database rather than storing it locally like we've been doing. Thanks for listening.